Welcome to the Geeks Attic. This is an expanded universe book review of Wedge's Gamble. Star Wars Wedge's Gamble is book 2 in the X-Wing series. It was written by New York Times bestselling author Michael A. Stackpole. It recently received a reprint in the Essential Legends collection and also rebranded as the Rogue Squadron series. But forever in my heart, it will be the X-Wing series. This novel is part of the Expanded Universe or Legends novel timeline. It takes place during the New Republic era, about 7 years after the Battle of Yavin. Now let's get into a brief summary. The New Republic, which is still referred to by the Imperial remnants as rebels, desire to topple those remaining Imperials that control the Imperial center on Coruscant. New Republic intel proves that taking Coruscant is an enormous challenge with their minuscule numbers, as the defenses on Coruscant are pretty much impenetrable by outside forces. A plan is devised that seems utterly reckless and risky. However, despite the baffling plan, Rogue Squadron will do as ordered. Rogue Squadron, led by Wedge and Tillies, are to extract dangerous members of Black Sun, which is a pretty dangerous gang, kind of like a mafia of sorts. So they're going to take a couple of these Black Sun members out of a prison on Kessel, put them on Coruscant, and hope that they rebuild their organization and start a fight with the Imperial cell there, which is led by Yasani Izard. However you want to say it, I don't care. So Rogue Squadron makes this bold move of ditching their starfighters to take to the streets on Imperial Center to gather intel on planetary defenses and specific targets. Meanwhile, the Empire is experimenting with a deadly virus that painfully kills the infected victim by liquefying their insides. General Dericote of the Empire is the one heading this virus experiment called Krytos. It's designed to target specific non-human species, and the idea is to get the rebels to turn their attention to the infected and drain their funds on coming up with a potential cure for this galactic crisis. So let's get into my overall thoughts. I really wasn't a big fan of the first X-Wing book, Rogue Squadron, but that didn't stop me from being excited to pick up Wedge's Gamble. However, I really didn't care for the second book in the series either. I have some of the same complaints for this story as I did with the first X-Wing book. It can be a little bit hard to follow at times when it comes to, the action stuff. Space battles and spaceships are cool to see on the big screen or playing a video game, but reading the action, for me, was kind of a challenge. I'm one of those weirdos that enjoyed the elements that did not focus on a lot of the action. I liked the briefings and strategic meetings, like when the politicians and soldiers would meet to discuss how they would take Coruscant. Those are the things that I really found fascinating. Wedge's Gamble does take an interesting turn. It shifts away from the space battle stuff and goes to the on-the-ground action, which is much easier to follow, but still a bit too boring for me. Stackpole introduces a type of superweapon that is very different for Star Wars. Thankfully, it wasn't some giant laser-blasting planet. It's a bioweapon. It's the virus, Krytos. Krytos is highly disturbing. It's a brilliant, fresh move for Star Wars weaponry. It's simple, but it's also very sick and twisted. One of the main characters, Corran Horn, I just don't like him. I don't. He reminds me of he's the Tom Cruise of Star Wars. He gets all the ladies, he handles all the action, he's cocky, he's the best at everything. I don't like how Stackpole added in a bunch of sexual stuff to the story. It really felt out of place. It was very awkward. It suggested that Corran has been everywhere, done a lot of things with a lot of ladies. He's a skanky man for sure. So do I recommend that you read Star Wars Wedge's Gamble? Well, if you like the first book, you're probably going to like this one. If you did not like the first book, don't call it quits yet. Try this one out. It is pretty different. For the rating, I'm going to give this 3 out of 5 stars. And that's going to do it for this review. Check me out at TheGeeksAttic.com and across all social media at TheGeeksAttic. Have a good one.